Howdy, folks. What's going on? This is the Outlaw and Sarge on another one of our old school wrestling chats. Sarge, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. I just been editing video today, getting caught up. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, we hit this one late this month.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, I've been busy with work and this, that, and the other. And we have to make sure that our schedules are lined up before we can actually do these shows. I'm going to warn you folks right now. We have absolutely nothing planned for this show at all. We know it's going to be based around professional wrestling, but it could go anywhere. So be prepared for that.
Are you gonna throw a link out on the Gun Channel side or on this side in case anybody wants to jump in?
We can do that if you'd like.
We throw it in there. Maybe somebody will come in with another point of view.
We can do that. You can do it. I can do it. This is your show too, brother.
I think what we need to do is, let me go back, see if I can find that link. What we need to do is we got to find someone that has a friend, an acquaintance, a relative, or someone that has been involved with professional wrestling that can help us out with getting our first guest.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So if anybody out there, their uncle used to wrestle, they used to wrestle, they know so-and-so from there, they live in their community or something like that. If you've got a way to break the ice, send a message to someone, because we need to start getting some guests. Want to see it from the other side. I know about it from the fan side and about from what I've read, but I want to hear about it from the industry side.
Yeah, the insiders. The insiders, not to be confused with the outsiders. Speaking of that, I was actually watching some old Scott Hall matches from the Memphis days. He was a big dude back then. He was bigger then than he was.
He's a very big man.
Yeah, he's huge. But back then, I guess he was more buff. He slimmed down when he became Razor Ramon later on in the WWF. But back then, he was just a monster.
Yeah, I think WWE always had not to say a weight requirement, but they had an ideal weight. They liked their guys a little bit slimmer.
Yeah.
So people could work a little better, less chance of injury.
Yeah. Unless, of course, he was Big John Studd or, one of those guys.
I think even those guys, they tried to monitor their weight and keep them down below a maximum limit, trying to keep them to where they could still work with some of the smaller guys. And I say smaller, I mean like could work with 250-pound guys.
Yeah.
That's not small.
No, that's a big man. That's a big dude. Well, I watch these old matches all the time. I was watching a Harley race, and I think it was Andre the Giant. I think it was Andre. And Harley's not a small guy, but Andre dwarfed him.
Now, Andre was, I've watched a documentary on him. They said that he had, because he had giantism, but he had 50% more teeth as the normal person. He had a lot more teeth than normal. It's not that he was just bigger. He had more teeth. And he just, he kept growing. And you ever see Andre, like some black and white footage of him, like when he first started?
Yeah.
He was so quick for his size. He was scary. Of course, he was thin too.
Yeah.
He was so quick. Hey, yeah, he was a scary dude when he first started. Every time now when I saw him, he'd already started getting really big. Getting really heavy.
To me, in I guess 83, 84, 85 in that era, if you're watching earlier than that, you've seen the weight gain occur. And And it looked to me like as the years went by, he just kept getting bigger, but he also got more intimidating as he did
Oh
because
yeah.
he just overall looking holy crap. Being a professional wrestler, that had to be one of the most intimidating thoughts in the world, going into a ring with a guy who could literally rip you apart if he decided to.
Well, that's what they said about him. They said he had a lot of pride. You didn't want to make him angry. They said he's a very easygoing man, but you didn't want to make him angry because if things went, I guess the way he didn't want them to go, that he if he didn't want to lose, he wouldn't lose. If he didn't want something to happen, it wouldn't happen because of how big he was. He had to go along with it. And if something changed, he might not go along with it. If somebody made him mad.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say he was difficult, but those guys had to have a lot of respect, is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard he would
Yeah.
do what was best for the business, what was best for the show. He did what he was supposed to do. But if something went wrong, somebody, hit him too hard or just pissed him off, he was going to do what he wanted to do then, and you couldn't
Yeah.
stop it. I think they said when he was dropping the belt to Hogan, they said they didn't know up until the match started whether it was still going to happen. Because they said they still didn't know if it was going to happen.
Well, think about it. If halfway during the match, Andre decides he don't want to do something, how are you going to change his mind?
You're not.
Exactly. And it's not like you can, beat him to the point where he's just going to say, okay, I'll give it up to you. He can take anything you hit him with. So,
no, he was not a normal person. He was literally a giant.
well, I don't know. There's been a lot of so-called giants in wrestling, but in my estimation, there's only two that has stood the test of time. Andre being one, and Big Show being the other.
The Big Show is a very tall man.
Yeah, but he's not Andre.
But he's not a giant.
But by any stretch of the imagination,
he's not a giant, as in like giantism.
Yeah,
he's a very big man, very tall man, very big structure. Andre was an actual, I guess if you would call it, he was an actual giant. He was different.
Yeah.
His skeleton was different.
But I mean, when you, who are the big guys in wrestling that always stood out to you the most, other than Andre?
Well, you know the answer to that. Ric Flair.
Well, I meant big guys, though. Big guys.
Oh, you mean big guys? I saw some of Big John Studd wrestle when I was a kid, because I didn't get all of the channels. We didn't have cable till I was like I think I was 12 or 13 by the time we got cable, and WWE wasn't, or WWF at the time wasn't on the cable channels I could get for a long time. So I missed a lot of Big John Studd, except when he would come through down here. Of course, I remember, Sid Vicious later on. Yeah. The Undertaker back when he was part of was he part of the Skyscrapers?
Yes, absolutely.
I remember that when he came through.
That team shuffled a lot, because at one point it was him and Spivey, or him and Vicious, and then it was Vicious and Spivey, and then it was somebody else, and I can't remember who the other guy was. I know there's like four of them.
And then I guess I didn't forget, but I kind of forgot because a little bit later, Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Former University of Tennessee basketball player.
Yep. How tall was Kevin? He was almost 7 foot. I don't think he actually hit the 7 foot mark, did he?
No, I think he's a little less than that. Still probably 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", somewhere around there.
He was not a little dude by any stretch.
No. You seen him lately?
No, I haven't.
He's been in the gym. I watched some like a video montage and seen him lately. He's extremely fit.
Well, he's what, almost 50 years old now.
No,
Maybe older than that.
yeah. No, he's probably mid 50s, early 50s. He's been hitting the gym.
Uh, yeah, I would say that, and this is from an outside perspective, of course. It would be kind of hard for a booker to take a guy like a Sid Vicious or Dan Spivey or Kevin Nash and find an opponent for him that would make it entertaining. Um, Grant you the stuff that he did with Bret Hart, or the stuff that he did with Shawn Michaels, that was great stuff. Of course, most of the bigger moves was done by the littler guy.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, do you remember the tag team matches? It was like the Steiners versus the Skyscrapers, or the Road Warriors versus them.
No.
Those matches, for what they were okay. But when you had two teams that was just that big, it's kind of hard to get an entertaining match out of it. There's just very few wrestling moves, if any. It's basically going to be a brawl. You might see a suplex here, a suplex there. No technical stuff at all most of the time. So I think that's why when you've seen teams like the Road Warriors going up against the Midnight Express, that made it entertaining. Because you always had the littler, faster team going up against the big, brawn heavyweights, and it worked. But putting two teams that big against each other, it's almost like watching a slow motion match. It's okay, but not great. But I would say that was a promoting nightmare, having to figure out who to put these teams against. Unless, of course, you've got 40 men to choose from that are all that big.
I never thought about that. I would guess it would be a little difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be. It would have to be, finding an opponent for Ric Flair ain't hard.
Oh, you can always get Mike Jackson. You can any of those guys.
Yeah, finding an opponent for The Undertaker, on the other hand, that's going to make him look good and he's going to make you look good, that's going to be a little more difficult. Because it would have to be somebody that's style. It's like the Kane versus Undertaker matches. For what they were okay, but there wasn't a whole lot of technical moves in those matches at all. It was just two big guys beating the tar out of each other. Which, hey, it made money. So, what do I know?
Well, yeah, that brings up a whole interesting aspect of it. Trying to find someone that has a chance of winning.
Yeah.
And has the ability to make them look good and to make a match out of it instead of just getting squashed. Yeah, that does bring up some interesting points.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you got a normal size guy, Sting, Flair, Randy Savage, Bret Hart, you could put these guys in the ring with anybody else, and hey.
And by size, we're talking like 6'2" and below.
Yeah.
And a normal wrestling weight, 250 and below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start getting up into 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot, then you're dealing with a whole different ball of wax.
Oh yeah. You got the guys in the middle that kind of split it. You got a handful of guys that are in the mid 6 foot range, like Barry Windham, a lot of those guys, Hulk Hogan,
Luger,
Scott Hall. You got a lot of those guys that are just in that middle that are 6'5" to 6'7". But yeah, you'd have to put them up against them. to make it look, legit.
Yeah.
In midnight, saying that wrestling's fake. It is not fake. It may be predetermined, but it's not fake.
Midnight Range is fake.
He is fake. I'm trying to get him to buy a shoulder holster.
You're trying to get Midnight to buy a shoulder holster?
Yeah, for his chef's coat. Since he wears his sweatpants back there in the gym, he can't really wear a belt holster. Not in the gym, in the kitchen. So he can wear a shoulder holster under that chef coat.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
or on the outside of the chef coat. I mean, nobody's going to come back and complain then.
Now his boss might complain the fact that he's carrying a gun at work, though.
Oh.
You always have back work to deal with that you have to think about. How's my boss going to take the fact that I'm an armed individual in his workplace?
How do they view that there at the shop?
Have you ever noticed every time Midnight Range shows up in anybody's chat, the topic goes completely south?
It does.
It's weird. It's just weird.
Speaking of not being in the South anymore and being in the North, how you doing, Gunpowder?
I'm surviving the snow.
Tell us about
yet.
How cold is it and what's the snow accumulation?
Right now we're about 8 to 12 inches, depending on what part of the place you look at. Oh, I know we're dropping down to negative degrees like tomorrow.
That's a different kind of cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy because like in Texas, it gets cold, but not as cold. Here, I've had days where it's like in the 30s and 40s, and I can still walk outside in a t-shirt. But once it's in the 20s, it's like, okay, yeah, I need a hoodie at least.
Well, it depends on how long you're going to be outside, too.
Yeah. Definitely have had to learn to double up my socks and stuff and layer up.
I remember a few months back you were saying you wasn't too concerned about all that.
I wasn't until my hands and my face and my ears went numb. Apparently, you could have frostbite and all of that. I'm like, okay, maybe I should, take a little bit more consideration to how I dress before I walk outside. I can tell you, this is the first year I've had to wear gloves and a hat and a scarf.
See, this is what I told you. You thought it was all going to be fun and games, and now you done went and got your eye put out.
Oh, I'm sure it's ridiculous. Like right here, it's right around 30 right now. It's supposed to be down in the low teens tonight, probably be in the high single digits, truthfully. We got a little Arctic blast coming through, but that's nothing like up there.
Yeah, I think we're going to be -6 tonight.
Are you around the Great Lakes? Do you get any of that lake effect snow where you're at?
Yeah, where we moved, we now get the Great Lakes effects. So
if anybody's not familiar with that, you don't have to worry about the weather forecast. It picks up the moisture off the Great Lakes and then dumps it on land. So it's just what's going to happen up there.
If it's going to rain in one place, you can guarantee it's definitely raining here. If there's snow called for any place in Michigan, you can guarantee we're definitely getting it here.
Man, this sounds like you got the sniffles.
I'm outside freezing my butt off so I can smoke a cigarette. Of course I got the sniffles.
You might want to do that. Tardoc wouldn't complain.
I sit there and I breathe in and I can feel the air freezing the inside of my nose every time I breathe. So it's pretty cold.
Yeah, well, we warned you about that. You laughed at us. Told us we was crazy.
It's okay. I'm still sticking with my theory that I can add more layers. Texas, I couldn't take off enough before it turned into a crime to cool off. So I'll take the cold.
You are not the wise individual I once thought you were.
Hey, listen. Don't make me shoot you with my 1911.
Okay, well, hey, bring it. I'll shoot back, and I got a new toy to shoot with. So,
All right.
uh, but yes, where were we before we were rudely interrupted by midnight?
Everything but a food chat.
Yeah.
We were talking about big guys in wrestling.
Oh, that's right.
And I was throwing it out there. If anyone has any links from us, just as lay people, anybody that has any inside track to getting a hold of some wrestlers to be on the show would be fantastic. They can email us. Email me, Sarge, c4defense@gmail.com. Or what's your email?
The Outlaw Hatfield at Gmail or Ellis Hatfield at Gmail. Either way.
Just send one out there. And if you know anybody, send us some information so we can make contact. And start working on getting somebody on the show.
Our dear friend and comrade on YouTube shot us in the foot. You realize that, right?
Who's that?
Ghost.
What, did he just go live?
No. He had met Goldberg. And instead of saying, hey, look, I got a couple of friends who do a show monthly about professional wrestling, hooking us up a little bit, he just forgot all about us.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
He got caught on the spot.
It's okay. It's okay.
We'll forgive him in a month or two.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. Somebody said that the Undertaker was there too. That would be a great guy to have on the show.
They said Twang Bang got a picture of him there. I saw Twang Bang, but I didn't see the Undertaker. Let's see if he's got an Instagram. Maybe we can find a picture and get verification. Wonder if there's any other wrestlers there. So far, I've just heard of Undertaker and Goldberg.
I guess that would be a shock. These guys that you're used to watching on TV, big celebrities, and then you're walking around SHOT Show, and here they are. And you never knew that, hey, these guys are gun guys.
Well, there it is.
You found it?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me flip back over. Make sure you can see it.
Well, look at that.
Can you see him on there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lock on to you here for a minute. He is a big dude, man. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. But there he is. That's Twang Bang and Undertaker. So I missed him.
See, you missed all the good stuff.
Trying to see where they're at. Oh, they're down at the Browning booth is where they are. You can see it on the other side too, because there's advertisements everywhere, but it does look like the Browning booth on the left. I think Lou Ferrigno was there too. I thought I saw somebody post a picture of Lou Ferrigno. And I think it was at the Browning booth as well.
Well, at least they got good taste if they're at the Browning booth.
Yeah.
Browning makes a good gun, so you can't fault them for that. But I'll tell you somebody else I'd like to get on here would be a Dustin Rhodes, just to hear some of the stories he could tell about his dad.
Well, him or Cody Rhodes would be good, because I would like to hear more about this rejuvenation of the new NWA. And we were talking about it before we went on air.
Yeah.
The one thing that the part that intrigues me is that did you see where they're having the Jim Crockett Memorial Cup?
Are they?
Yes, in Charlotte.
Wow.
They're having it this year. It's like and it's like June or July or something. I forgot when it is. But they announced that they're having that they're going about it the right way. My beef is that it's hard to find a schedule, like where they're going to be. I haven't sought out going to a professional wrestling match in years, and I've sought out trying to find theirs and see when they're going to be close and to take my kids to it, and you can't find anything until right before the event happens. So that is my one beef. They need to get a schedule out there, because I want to give them my money. I want to go.
I would love to go to that Crockett Senior Memorial Cup event.
And
I remember watching those as a kid on TV. Well, did see part of the matches, and it was a big deal, man.
And they don't have a web page either. They have a Facebook page and they have a Twitter account and they have a YouTube channel, but they don't have a website. So it's very difficult to find their upcoming events.
You would probably have to get in touch with somebody that's involved with it to get any kind of heads up at this point. You gotta remember they're starting off on the ground floor. So
April 27th at Cabarrus Arena in Concord, North Carolina, Crockett Cup.
Let's see, April 27th. When is Wanamaker?
This is going to be the same weekend as NRA, I think.
Well, that means you got a decision to make.
Well, I don't know whether I'll be able to afford NRA and Wanamaker in the same month, but I might be able to afford to go to wrestling match. So we'll just see.
It depends on how expensive those tickets are.
It's not the ticket. They come in because that's just a one-time expense. And I could travel down there and not stay in a motel room, so that would be good. I could come back that night. But NRA, you're going 3 times as far for me, and you guys stay in a motel, and you're going to be there multiple days. That really adds to the expense.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a Night of Champions they've posted in March.
Any about that?
Where does it say it is? Oh, that's in Missouri. So they're posting a little bit on here, but it's still kind of sporadic as far as finding out where they're going to be.
Hey Sarge, we'll just call roll call, and I'll plan on staying at his place for NRA.
Deal. We should go there whether we're invited or not. I know he's got a basement.
Yeah, we'll totally just show up. I've got his address. We'll just
bring some of those roll-up air mattresses and say, we're here.
Count me in. Hey, why not? Roll call, you're about to have company.
And did you see in NWA where they brought back the U.S. Heavyweight Championship? Or the national champion, and it's the old school red leather belt with the cutout. The front plate is the shape of the United States.
Oh, that is cool, dude.
They brought that back. That belt hasn't been around since like the mid '80s.
It's been longer than that.
Early '80s.
Yeah.
Well, they brought it back
because when Magnum held that title, it wasn't that one shaped like the United States. It was the other one.
Oh yeah.
And that was what, 84, 85 when he held that title.
Yeah. So I guess it was probably very early '80s, late '70s for sure.
Yeah. I would say somewhere along the lines of 81, 82, they went over to the other one.
And one of the other big things about NWA is that they've got David Arquette.
Oh, yay.
But have you seen what he's done?
No, I haven't.
He has been wrestling for the last 6 or 9 months. He's in great shape. He's packed on some weight. He's in great shape. And he's been learning how to wrestle. He's been wrestling house shows. He's been doing everything.
Huh.
He's trying to redeem himself from that debacle that took place in WCW years ago.
Well, that was horrible.
But he's actually wrestling.
Huh? Yeah.
At like almost 50 years old, he is in tremendous shape.
Are they going to bring back the junior heavyweight title?
With this crew, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because what is his name? Billy Corrigan? Yeah, Corrigan. He is definitely an old school wrestling aficionado, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring it back. Let me screen share here, and I'll show you a picture of Arquette. Let's see, is it sharing?
Yeah, it's sharing, but I don't see nothing but our screen, Hangouts.
Right there. Do you see it?
Oh, wow.
David Arquette. I know that's Tim Storm. He's a school teacher, part-time wrestler. He was their heavyweight champion. But that's David Arquette now.
Good Lord. Yeah, he's in real good shape, isn't he?
Oh, gosh. And he's legitimately trying to learn to wrestle. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. If you remember when he was doing that with the WCW all those years ago, he was not in shape at all. He had a gut.
Oh, he was a tiny guy with a gut.
Yeah. There, at least he looked like he could go a little bit.
Oh, gosh, yeah. He's like in his late 40s and in shape like that. That dude has been working hard.
Yeah.
He's been working hard. And I think what I heard, what did I hear this on Joe Rogan's show? They said that since he's recently found sobriety, like this is what he's doing now to make his life exciting and for entertainment instead of, illicit drugs or whatever he was doing, whatever that was, that he's dedicated himself to this for his excitement. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. If it's keeping him sober, dude, more power to you, honestly. But yeah, that thing in the 90s, let's just try to forget about that altogether. Let's just pretend that never happened.
I'm sure a lot of people would like to pretend it never happened. That's one of the things that put the nail in the coffin for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I heard Ric Flair talk. He said before Vince bought WCW, he said it sold for so little money. He said if he'd had 30 minutes, he could have rounded up the money and bought it himself.
I wish he would have.
Well, he said he didn't know. No one told him. No one told him it was for sale. No one told him the price. They just told him that they'd sold it to Vince McMahon right before they went on air. And he said 30 minutes, I could have had the money. Made a few phone calls, got some investors, and we would have owned it. So I think that's another thing he regrets.
Yeah.
Is a missed opportunity that, you didn't know was an opportunity because you were never told about it till it was too late.
Think about the difference we would have in that industry right now if a guy like Ric Flair would have bought WCW.
Well, you need competition.
Yeah,
Anytime there's a monopoly, the consumer loses when there's a monopoly. The consumer wins when there's competition.
Exactly.
Just like anything. If there's one gas station in town, they can charge what they want. If there's 3 or 4, free market keeps them all trying to please the customer as much as possible. It's the same way with this industry. If there was another power, like another powerful organization, it would make WWE better and it would make whatever the other organization better, because they have to. That would be the real battle, be them battling against each other, trying to get fans.
Well, you've had TNA out there for years, but there's just something about TNA that has never got my interest or managed to keep my interest. There's been a few matches that I could go and watch and be like, okay, yeah, but when it comes to something that makes me want to sit down in front of a television set on a weekly basis or twice a week, there's nothing out there that does that. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't watch any of the WWF programs. Just none of them.
I don't watch a lot of TV to begin with.
Well, see, that's me.
Unless it's like I've been watching some shows on Amazon or Netflix, I'll do that. But other than that, my source of entertainment has been either doing or watching this right here.
Yeah, pretty much. That's me. When I'm not working, I spend most of my time watching YouTube.
I wish YouTube had a little bit better advertising of live shows. Like there was I found like if you're looking for something outside of what we all already watch, like to look for what's live now, and I'm not getting a whole lot of really good search. I wish there was just like a live channel, and then you could go through categories, but that would be neat because you might find some.
There actually is. If you search live, you can go onto. There's like a page that shows every show that's live right now. You just search live; it'll bring up a page for it.
Well, I think I've tried that, but not had anything I wanted to watch. Maybe probably need to do it some more often and search it.
Good.
Because you might find some cool stuff. I bet if a person would have done that at SHOT Show, they would have found all kinds of things going on at the time. They probably would have 100 live shows with SHOT in the title.
Well, I got a feeling that's what Watermaker's going to be like this coming year, April. Because there's going to be this is going to be the biggest Watermaker for the Gun Channel's crew so far. If all the people that's claiming to show up there, but I'm going to put a guess out there. There's probably going to be 50 guys from Gun Channels at Watermaker. So at any given opportunity, you're going to get that live stream going because somebody's going to be live. Whether it be Ghost or Clover or G-Webs,
and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna take what I learned this week, and like I said, I'm probably gonna go into town here in just a little bit and check out that gimbal. I may buy a gimbal tonight and start rebuilding my rig, but I'm going to try to cover Wanamaker maybe in the same manner that SHOT should be covered, and kind of add another element to the channel. Go cover some events. I might go cover my local gun show or stuff like that, just for some more content, get some different content out there. Maybe cover some gun shops. I talked to G. He was talking about, like doing interviews at gun shops and things like that. And it really brought up some interesting points. Yeah. That would be some good content.
I'll tell you what would be interesting, and then they keep us back on in the wrestling. Could you imagine a gun show and one of the wrestling entertainment venue going on at the same time as a gun show in the same place? That would be just awesome. So you get the best of both worlds: pro wrestling and a gun show all at the same place at the same time. That would be cool shit. I'd be there, definitely. Sign me up.
Well, and we need to do a big live show where we're all there together as well. But to do some live stuff walking around that place would be cool.
Oh yeah.
That's why this gimbal I'm looking at it'll do phones, and then I'm going to buy the GoPro adapter so it's not limited to one platform. Like the GoPro gimbal is I guess it's kind of limited to GoPro. I want to get one that's dual purpose, so I can do different stuff.
Phone, GoPro, or whatever else might pop up at the time, whatever you have handy.
Yeah, well, put my phone on there because it's got internet access. We can do live stuff or walking around gun shop. It will be dual purpose.
Yep. That's gonna be cool, dude. And like we were talking about last night, we need to find something on the East Coast that we can all get together at. And this would be great. That Knob Creek shoot would be awesome, and that's just probably not too far from where Gunpowder and Tar Dog live right now. I mean, that's what, about midway upstate Kentucky.
I mean, I can handle a trip to Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly.
The key is not necessarily the travel; it's the accommodations once you get there that really make or break it. If we can get a decent deal,
we'd have to locate hotels and all this in advance.
if we can get a decent deal and get like a block of motel rooms, or an inn or a lodge or something where we can get a block of them and get them for a decent price, that's what makes or breaks it for me.
Yeah.
Because like this thing, when we went to Vegas, I mean, I missed out on getting to socialize with the rest of the Gun Channel's crew, but for work purposes, where we were working on the stuff for Josh's channel, staying in a house was nice because we had a kitchen, we had laundry room, we had we had separate bedrooms, separate bathrooms, and we had a dining room table that everybody could set their laptops on and work at the same time, and it worked for that aspect of it. But it would be nice if people were around and together in the same facility. That would be fun.
Yeah.
So we could either pile up in one room or pile up in the lobby or pile up somewhere. Would be great.
Yeah, like I said, it's something we can work toward and work on in the future. Getting something going here on the East Coast. But as for right now, I'm still trying to search out and figure out what's happening on this side of the country that would be a good venue for us already. And other than Knob Creek, I can't really come up with it.
On the East Coast, I can't think of a whole lot as far as a big meet like that.
And keep in mind, when I say East Coast, I'm not talking about just the coastal East Coast. I'm talking about, all the way out to,
East of the Mississippi.
East of the Mississippi, yeah. This side of the country.
I mean, I guess truthfully, they're having a shoot every night in Chicago. We could get it up there.
Yeah. Of course, we'd all be arrested before we left. Because I wouldn't go to Chicago one-armed. I don't know about you.
No. Nope.
I have absolutely zero reason to go to Chicago. And if I did go to Chicago, I'm taking a gun. It's just that simple.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's the old saying? I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Well, there's a definite possibility of each happening there.
Yeah. I'd say it's 45% either way. With that 5%, you get out unscathed. So.
I'm trying to read the chat. Looks like Scotsman's out there.
Hey,
I haven't seen him around a whole lot in any of the other chats. He's probably been busy with work with a new job, but I noticed he's got a new logo.
Does he? Yes, he does. Look at that.
I forgot to tag my latest video I put up. I was multitasking and tagging it. I did a real good interview with. Did I tell you about speaking of the gimbal and the rig and covering things? It'd be good to start, covering some local wrestling matches for this.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Now, I lied when I say I haven't sought out wrestling. We went to, and I actually had to make one of my kids go. We went to the Micro Wrestling Association. They came through town. The Midget Wrestling Association. And one of them didn't want to go. One of them did. One of them didn't want to go because he wanted to stay and play Xbox. So I made him go. He had a blast. They both had a blast. I had a blast. It was so fun. So if you get a chance to see those guys and gals, definitely do it. Micro Wrestling Association. You can look them up on Facebook. It was fantastic.
And those little dudes can go, man.
It was classic old school wrestling. Classic.
I mean, those little dudes can actually go, believe it or not. But you see the little guys wrestle on like NWA back in the day or WWE. it's mostly comedic. But if you get some guys in there that's serious about it, they can actually put on a good match.
Oh yeah.
They can actually put on a really good show, and it's entertaining. But it's just a matter of getting away from the mainstream stuff so they can, actually wrestle and not be some kind of prop or some kind of gimmick. But that's how they're used by the mainstream in general, is as props and gimmicks.
Well, of course, but that's that's just part of what it is. It's part of the industry.
Yeah, well, now you would think that now that the women are getting the pushes that they're getting inside the business, that the little guys would be next. Hornswoggle. I'm sure he didn't do all that training just to be put through what he's been put through. I'm sure he got paid good for it, but still, but yeah, I can't find any kind of local matches at all in this area, which is weird considering where I'm at. But
it's hard to find. You got to find some smaller organizations, and it is difficult because most of them can't advertise that well. And really, probably where you would find them is on Facebook, because it doesn't cost anything for them to get a Facebook page. But yeah, a lot of the smaller ones can't advertise real well. It costs money.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm doing a local wrestling matches search on Google, and it's coming up everywhere but where I'm at.
Is it picking up your location correctly on Google?
Oh yeah. Believe me, Google knows exactly where I'm at. It tells me every day how far I am from work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that function where it tells you, it could tell when you're getting ready to get in your car.
Uh-huh.
I think if you have a lot of times, if you have your location set where it can follow you all the time, that's what it does. It detects your movement and tell when you're in a car, when you're going 35, and then you go to a stop, and then you start walking really slow. It knows you're walking, and it'll tell you where your car is sometimes too. I went to Pink's All Out in Bristol, and Google figured out when I'd parked my car, when we got there, and when we were in the stands, and when I opened the map back up to put the route in back home, it told me how far of a walk it was to the car. It told me where my car was. My car was on the map. I'm like, that's fascinating.
Isn't technology a wonderful thing?
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been able to locate any of the. A lot of time I remember years ago, you used to be able to go to high school gymnasiums, and every once in a while they'd have guys come in and putting on matches there. But I don't see anything like that around here.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, good.
I've talked about that. I used to, when wrestling would come to town, they would sell tickets in two places. When they wrestled at the junior high gym, they would sell them at it was an open air market. They mainly had a fruit stand, some drinks and things like that, and then an absolutely huge selection of magazines and comic books. That's what they did, and newspapers from everywhere. All your national newspapers, and then of course all your local ones. But you could buy tickets there, and you could buy them at the local police department. And you go into the police department in the lobby, and you ask for some wrestling tickets, and they had like a cigar box. They open it up with a roll of tickets and money in it, and they'd give you your tickets, put the money in there, and put the box back behind the counter. That's good, because I guess they go through days in advance and put the ticket sale locations out.
Have some guy come in a few week or so in advance and hang some flyers here and there.
Yep. Put them up at all the gas stations.
No. Have an announcement in the local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then they got to get up with the local paper and get the results in the day after.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when they used to do that. When you go to the sports section, it actually lists the winners of matches in the sports section.
Mm-hmm.
People don't believe that actually happened, but at one point in time, wrestling was so popular, and people loved it so much, and believed it, and that was the key right there. They believed it was real. That they'd actually tell who won what matches and where and how, and just go in depth with it. They don't do that anymore.
No.
Rarely do you see anything written up about a wrestling match in the newspaper, unless something tragic happens. Which none of us wants to see.
No.
Yeah. I'm not one that reads newspapers, but I'm sure that when one of the more famous guys passes away or something, there's a little write-up about it, I'd assume.
Oh, there is.
Well, these guys have earned it. I mean, it's like I watched a Tully Blanchard interview a few days ago, and he was talking about the things that he had done throughout his career, and he said no other entertainer in the world is going to give you the payback for your money that a professional wrestler does, especially in that era. We have scarred our bodies, we have broke bones, we have put our bodies through things that most people couldn't dream of doing, just so somebody else can be entertained. And you got to remember, when Tully was coming up and doing it, there was no guaranteed money for these guys. They were getting paid house from each show they put on, night to night. So if the house only made $500, they're going to get a portion of that $500, even if it was only $10. So, and that's how they made their money. Back in the old days, they didn't live the glamorous lives that these guys live now. It wasn't about how much you made, it's about how much you saved, and if they wasn't saving, then they were hurting.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was all about how many people you could put in the seats to get to watch you. And that's how you got paid. And I'm not sure if they got cut of commissions or not, but I'm sure they should have, but I've watched a lot of Tully's interviews. He's a very intelligent individual.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever listened to him do an interview, Tully Blanchard is when he's talking about the business and not anything in particular, like one of his matches, he is very intelligent about the business and what goes on behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Very smart man. He couldn't have
I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind getting Tully on the show and talking to him, or Arn Anderson.
He would be in the top 3 of people I would want to talk to.
Who, Tully or Arn? Both?
If not top 2.
Oh, well, see, I know
he would be right up there with one of the ones that I would want to talk to that could, A, tell me about what they did, but B, he is a very intelligent person. He could tell me more about what other people did and about the industry.
Yeah. And let me guess, your number 1 would be Flair.
He's I think would be a little too hard to attain and might get sidetracked and whatnot, but I would want to talk to Tully or Arn Anderson about the business, about the industry.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one that would be good to talk to. And Dick Slater, if he's still alive. I don't even know if he's still alive.
I think he died.
You think he did?
I think he died this year.
Oh,
Or, well, not this year. Like this last 365 days. I'm looking it up right now. I want to say it was like summer.
well, if he did,
October 18th, 2018.
man, that sucks.
Fall.
That sucks. Dick Slater was one of those guys that was in every territory known to man at one point in time or another. Could you imagine the stories that man had to tell? Or somebody like Dick Murdoch.
Oh, gosh almighty. Stan Hansen, those guys that went all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Stan Hansen's still alive, isn't he?
I think so.
One of the ladies I worked with at the office had dated him for a long time. And had like postcards that he sent from Japan and everything. She showed them to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. She also dated Wahoo McDaniels and had like portraits of them together. I don't mean portraits like after the wrestling matches, like a picture. I mean, like when you went to Sears and they took your portrait, you know, of them two together. I was like, you got to be kidding me. She's like, no. And I had other people verify that just because they just told stories. They said, yeah, he'd come here and visit like when she was working or something like that. And they saw him here. I'm like, well, that's cool. It's good that he passed away because he would have had some great stories.
Oh, yeah, man. Could you imagine?
From back in the day.
Another one that would have had some great stories been a Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord. Could you imagine? Ron Garvin. He's probably got some great stories, too. Speaking of that, I remember this thing I'd watched with Michael Hayes, talking about him and Bam Bam going to some roadhouse somewhere to get some drinks, and they ended up in a shootout. And Bam Bam, they had took cover somewhere, and Bam Bam just started laughing. And Michael Hayes asked Bam Bam, well, what the hell are you laughing about? And he said, they missed. I was like, wow. That tells you something about the mindset of Bam Bam Bigelow right there. You get shot at and laugh it off.
Wow. Yeah, he died early on as well.
Yeah. He was young too, man. He wasn't very old when he died. I'm thinking he was what, in his early 40s? But that's another one we lost way too young.
Well, I'm going to spend some time trying to locate some of these people, and I think what my problem has been, I've only sent out a couple messages. I think we've got to go with the theory that if you send out 50 messages, to 50 different people, your odds are getting better of someone accepting.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've just sent out a few. I know I've only sent out a few. I think we need to pick something like this, and I'm going to pick a month from now. Today's date. When I send out a message or an email, I'm just going to pick a month from now, 4 weeks, because I don't know what your schedule is. I know I'll be off this day, and we'll just use that as a target. And of course, we can move it, but we'll just use that as a target. And I'm going to send out multiple different messages. And man, if you send it to 100 people, you just got to have a 1% return or 2% return, and we got a guest or two.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's try that approach.
Okay, we can do that. I mean, I'm not opposed. You know me, I'll ask anybody to be on the show. It don't bother me.
Yeah.
I have done it in the past. In fact, I sent, for those of you who don't know, I had sent Bill Goldberg a message this morning, invited him onto the show as a guest. Um, you know, listening to Ghost last night talk about it, I figured, why not? He's pro gun and he's a professional wrestler. He fits right in the mold. So I would love to get him on here and talk about his time at the power plant and training with all these guys. He's one of those guys that just showed up out of nowhere and took over, literally. And you never hear of a guy coming into professional wrestling, especially in that particular point in time, and in less than a year of being in the business, you're a world champion. That don't happen. But it did for him.
Somebody brought up a good one right there. I'm seeing in the chat. Chuck Palumbo. He's got a show where he's like really into cars. I've seen it on Velocity Channel. And he's still wrestling.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Plus, he's got his car show. Oh, yeah.
He trained at the power plant as well, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did. And for those of you who don't know, the power plant was where the guys that were interested in breaking into the business for WCW went to do their training. And they were put through their paces by a gentleman that went by Sarge.
I heard that.
Yeah. And he was part of a tag team called, I think it was a State Troopers or something at one point in time. State Patrol. And his gimmick was he would come out dressed as a state trooper. Mid-card guy, very talented. Didn't get too far in the business, really. Just basically made the other guys look good. But he knew the moves. He knew how to wrestle. You could tell that by watching him. And Buddy Lee Parker was his name, if I'm not mistaken. But he was the one giving them the training and teaching them. So, a guy that's took the bumps that somebody like that has and knows the insides and outs of the business and knows how to fall and take the punches and this, that, and the other. If you're going to get trained by somebody, get trained by somebody like that, And if you can't, find a Mick Foley to train you. Find yourself a Mick Foley or Kevin Sullivan to train you.
Oh, good Lord. I think, I saw somebody in that out here that you would have to, Alaskan 556 said you would probably have to pay them. And I don't know, maybe. There's guys out there that would still do something like this for free just to keep their name out there and to get their name out or to promote a local appearance. They might still do some of this stuff for free.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not opposed. I am not opposed to buying a book. Like I remember you talked about Bill Apner.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed. I'll buy the book if he wanted to be on. I'll enjoy the book. Plus I'll enjoy the conversation. He's got to do 2 hours though. He doesn't get out for an hour if I had to buy the book.
Exactly. If I'm paying for it, you're going to be here for 2 hours. So enjoy.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
No, of course not.
I'll get a good book out of it, and I'll get 2 hours of fantastic entertainment and conversation. Even if nobody else enjoys it, we'll enjoy it. So,
absolutely.
I'd love to talk to that guy.
My point with that whole Bill Apner thing is just the way it came across when I got that email back.
You know,
and I was like,
the written word, text message, email doesn't always convey things correctly.
Oh, well, I understand
but
that.
Of course, I didn't get the email either. It may have been kind of harsh. I didn't get it. But
and I was like, well, that's kind of arrogant.
It may be more like a canned response because he gets a lot of it may be his way of weeding them out. Who knows? He may not have enough time during the week. He's like, well, if you buy the book, I'll do it. It could be just something like that.
Well, I understand that. But,
then again, he may just be arrogant.
I think it could have been worded a little better than it was, if that was the case. But I took it as a very arrogant response. So I just shifted off to the side and says, well, if that's the way you're going to be about it, then hey.
Well, Alaskan 556 is voting for the Bill Abner interview. So if you want to reach out to him, get me the information. I'll buy the book and we'll schedule it for next month if he's available.
Oh, okay. I will do what I can.
Just reach out to him and I'll, if it gives a deal on 2 books, we'll get each of us one. I'll buy 2 of them. I get 1 sent to you, 1 sent to me.
Oh, there you go.
And then let's see what
I can send you the contact information and you can send him an email and see what comes.
That would be even better. Why don't you do that? Let's see what next month is while we're at it. Okay, what's today? Today is the 29th. So 4 weeks from today would be the I got training that day. Huh. Let's see. The 25th or 27th? What, the 27th on a Wednesday? Are you off on Wednesdays?
It just depends on when my employer decides that I can be off. I can request any day off. And I'm
how about Monday of that week? How about Monday the 25th?
Monday the 25th. Let's see.
Or do we want to do it in the evening one night if we have like a special interview?
Well, see, that I could do. As long as it's after like 8 o'clock, I could be home and ready.
How about, and you'd have to do it at 8:15.
Oh, yeah. Or 8:05.
Yeah, it'd have to be at 8:15. That's when the wrestling matches started as a kid. Started at 6:05 on TV.
Oh, yes, exactly. Very good.
8:15 was bell time.
Yep.
How about the week of the 26th, the 25th through the 28th? That's Monday through Thursday. Any evening that week would be good for me.
Okay, that works.
Or any evening the week before would be good for me. Actually, I'm going to put in that email any time those 2 weeks, Monday through Friday in the evening at 8:15. Because if we're going to have a special interview, we might as well do it at night in the evening when more people are watching.
Okay, well, we can do that.
All right, you forward me that email. I'll make contact and we'll see if we can get that rolling.
Roger that. I will be on that this afternoon sometime.
Yeah.
So, don't you have one of your kids doing something this afternoon?
Well, I was going to have to go pick them up at drill practice, but the snow took care of that.
Oh, well, there we go. So I was just making sure we wasn't holding you.
No, I do have video to edit. I'm going to try to get up a few more videos today. I got some cool ones. Okay. I got a good interview with Walter from Safety Harbor Firearms from that's always on Hank Strange's channel.
Uh-huh.
I got a great interview with him and he gave me some cool patches. I've got to start arranging the swag that I got. I was going to take some pictures of all the patches, all the decals, all the hats, and then I got to figure out how to give it away. Now, Zorro, he ordered a hat the other day, and I told him I'd throw a little swag in there. I'm going to throw some swag in his hat order. I'm trying to figure out how to have some contests to give this stuff away. Because every hat I send out is going to cost me $5. And I've got a dozen hats, maybe 10 hats that I got to give away. I got a bunch of hats. Going to keep a couple. So I got to figure out how to give this stuff out.
I'll tell you a way to do it. Do a shooting contest.
A what?
A shooting contest.
A shooting contest?
A shooting contest.
Well, I've got more stuff that I could ever think about giving out in one day.
Well, hold on. No, this is what you do. You hold like a weekly shooting contest on your channel, right? Your subscribers go out. They get 3 shots at 3 different distances. You pick the distances. And, the best 3 shots at center mass, in the X ring, whatever, wins that week.
Okay. I've got to come up with something.
You know, I think that would be a cool way to do it and get some audience participation as well. But they have to film it.
They couldn't just tell me they did it?
No, they have to film it.
Oh, okay.
They have to have video showing them shooting at each of those distances. And it has to be all in one session. And they only get 3 shots. That's 1 shot per target.
Okay. We got to develop something because I've got so much stuff to give away.
Yeah.
I mean, even after picking out, I'm obviously going to pick out some stuff to keep. I got duplicates of a lot of stuff because they had stuff out and then some stuff you had to ask for. I'm like, hey, I want some cool stuff for the back of my YouTube videos because I'm going to put up my patch wall probably this afternoon. Guys have some cool stuff for that. And I said, do you care if I get some more, some other cool stuff to give away? Oh yeah, here you go. Where you're not just taking it, you're telling them why you're doing it, and then they give you extra. So I got plenty of stuff to give out. Plenty of stuff.
But yeah, I can help you come up with something if you want to brainstorm about it sometime.
All right. Well, just let me know. I gotta. This isn't going to be one contest. This is going to be multiple contests, and hopefully, I got to have some to help drive up subscriber count too, like where you get things out there, where you tag and subscribe and share. I got to do some stuff like that too.
Oh,
And Squib's asking me if I got anything from Belleville Boots. I got a discount card and a good contact out of it. I didn't get any. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got 2 T-shirts. He gave me an extra one to give away. So I do have a Belleville Boot T-shirt from Tactical Research. So yeah, I do have something from them.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, they were, all that stuff was back. None of it was out. That's the thing about a lot of places. You got to go talk to the people, establish a little bit of a rapport, and then you ask as you're leaving, if they got anything, and then yeah, you never know. They got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they're probably used to that too. They're expecting it.
Well, if you just leave it out, it's just like anything else. People will ruin anything. If you just leave it out, people will take all of them. Some, not all. Some people are, respectful. Like if I took more than one of something, if someone was standing there, I asked, I'm like, you care if I get a couple of these decals or patches? Like, no. I said, because I'm going to give the second or third one away. And they're like, no, that's fine. Because you want to ask. You don't just want to go up and just rake the counter and take stuff. So, and then some of it's a little bit more reserved and you got to ask for it. But
well, that's just, common courtesy.
And Squib saying, could we look for Belleville Boots at the Great Outdoor Show? You should. Their Belleville's and their other line that they have, the Tactical Research, I found a pair because the guy told me about them. He sold me on them just for standing and walking because you got to have different pairs of boots. I'm going to buy a new pair of Tactical Research after seeing them at the SHOT Show. So I'm buying them for myself.
Well, I will expect the video on those.
Yeah, and Squib saying he needs a new pair of boots for the desert. Yeah, I've got a sage green pair of Belleville's for like when we go out in the woods, and I'm very happy with them. Very happy. So that's one of the reasons why I did that video. There was other companies there. There was a lot of boot companies there, but I went to the only video I did on boots was a company that I'm impressed with and that not everybody knows about. And a lot of military guys know about them, but a lot of other people don't know about them. So I wanted to help get them out there a little bit, what little bit I could.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, like I said, get them, try them out, see what you really think about them, and then post a video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got the one pair now that I love, but this other design, I'm going to get them, try them out, and they're hopefully going to be my boots for going around and doing stuff like that, for like going to SHOT Show or going to events where you're going to be on your feet for a long time. That's what this pair. They're the Fat Max, Tactical Research Fat Max. I think there's 2 X's in it. FATMAXX. Look those up. They look a little different. But when he told me about, and they're in the video, I think they're in the video. They may be in the video, where he tells me about how they work and how the insole is. I'm sold. I'm gonna buy some. So,
What's the price tags on them?
100 plus. But if you look around, you can get some deals. I think I paid 110 for my Bellevilles that I got now. I'm gonna look. I looked at Tactical Gear. God Almighty, I can't speak. Tacticalgear.com is where I bought mine from. I bought several things from them, but he told me about, and I looked it up. It was U.S. Patriot. I don't remember whether it was gear or tactical. I just did a search for U.S. Patriot altogether, and I was able to find it. He said they actually probably have the better price, and they're one of their dealers. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So, because they had some really good prices, really good stuff. It was U.S. Patriot, and it could have been supply. U.S. Patriot Tactical. It came right up because I'd looked at it before. Yeah, they have, between them and tacticalgear.com, they have the best prices. And they're pretty affordable.
I don't know. I was needing some shoes for work, and I picked up these Morels. Man, I'm loving these.
Oh, yeah.
I am absolutely loving these things.
And if you're going to be on your feet all day, oh my gosh. You got to have a really good pair of shoes doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You have to. Or you're not going to be doing it that long.
No, you won't. And these are the most comfortable shoes I have ever owned. As far as what they are, most of the time, if I'm not at work, I've got a pair of cowboy boots on. Period.
Yeah, try working in those though.
Oh, I have.
Probably horrible, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's not pleasant, but
Here's that. I'm going to show you that boot. I'm going to screen share before we get out of here. I think they got more than one size. Let me find more than one height boot. Yeah, here they are. I'm going to screen share, let you look at them. These might be a good one to wear at work. And this is why I'm going to buy some for any time you got to stand for a long period of time. All right. These are them right here. They've got a short one, a tall one. They've got a side zip. They're waterproof, but they have a really thick sole, thicker even in the front. And he told me, he said that, don't get me wrong, he said they take a little getting used to. And he said 95% of the people that try them love them, and they get used to them after 24 hours. He said the other 5% they just can't get used to them. So, but for the people that have them, he said people with knee injuries, he was telling me that he said double knee replacements, and he says these things are the greatest things ever. They've helped him so much. And I guess the soles were designed by the same material as some of the top marathon running shoes, and that's why they're thick all the way out, to try to get you the padding under the ball of your foot and not just the heel. So I'm going to try a pair out. I mean, they're $129, but they've got a 5% discount on here, and I'm going to see if I can get, after this, I'm going to see if maybe I can get a coupon code from them to list on the channel. So maybe I can get a little bit more of a discount for everybody. So we'll see.
Man, that'd be awesome.
Well, I'm just now starting to explore that stuff. Maybe I can get a C4 Defense discount code for people.
That'd be awesome, dude. I'm all in.
I don't care about, some places they give you a discount and they pay you a little bit for each one. I mean, that's fine. I don't care about that. I'd rather save everybody 10 or 15% so they'll try this stuff, and then their knees won't hurt.
And your feet.
Yeah, my knees are pretty fine. I got tendonitis in one knee, but they don't really bother me. They bothered me at SHOT Show, but it went away by the next morning. But they were sore when we were done. Oh yeah. But I'm thinking maybe a pair of these good shoes would help.
Hmm.
I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try these short ones right here. Short zip up with the thick sole.
Yeah, they look like they're very well designed.
Oh yeah, their stuff is spot on. And it's a polishable toe still, really thick design. I may even order these. I may order them here in the next day or two.
Oh, bite the bullet and do it now.
Because he. Oh, all right, hold on. Let me get my credit card out and I'll just put it in there while we're screen sharing.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, turn your computers off. Shut down your screen so you can't see.
Just look away. Look away.
Close your eyes.
I trust like all 5 people that are out there.
Yeah, but I'm certain that there'll probably be more viewers later.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm going to go for. Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff, and I like I said, I figured out some things I got to do, and you know what I thought of when I saw those? They kind of remind me of the big thick soles you see on the wrestling boots.
Yeah. Yep.
The big thick sole on them.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
So all right. That'll be my next purchase. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Sarge, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. I thought we might have been having some technical difficulties there for a second.
Did you see the new knife I got?
No, sir, I did not.
I got that from Alpha Outpost. Gosh almighty. Look at this thing.
That is nice. What is it, stainless steel?
It's stainless, and it's actually got a good edge. Look how thick it is.
Uh-huh.
This thing is a beast. I'm going to put it in the Lansky sharpener in the holder, and this thing should be razor sharp by the time I'm done. Hopefully, it'll hold an edge real good. I assume it's stainless.
I always prefer carbon steel blades.
I do too. I'm hoping this one will hold an edge.
Just if you're using a ferrule stone out in the woods or something like that, you just fire start. I've always preferred the carbon steel for that purpose.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So if and for God's sake, people, for any of you that don't know how to use a ferrule stone, you do not use the edge of your blade to strike one of those things. You use the back of the blade to do that. If you use the edge, you're going to ruin a knife.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
yeah, this thing is a beast.
That's why I just always preferred the carbon steel.
Yeah, carbon steel will get you the finest edge.
And if you get the right steel, it won't lose an edge very quickly either. It'll hold an edge forever.
Let's see. Scotsman's asking if those have steel toe and if they're available in wide. They do have wide, and I don't know about the steel toe part. That's right, because he's working in a factory again, so that's probably a requirement. Yeah, I'm sure they have steel toe available. Let's look that up. No, it's going to go into old school boot chat.
Yeah, we went from wrestling to guns to now to boots. So we've been all over the place today, brother.
They do have some steel toe. Tactical Research makes some, and the parent company Belleville makes several. So, but I'm trying to find some that are good for standing. Yeah, I don't know that they have any for standing. No, I don't know. We'll have to look on that U.S. Patriot Tactical, look and see what else they have, or tacticalgear.com. But anyway, good boots. They do have wide. Don't know about the steel toe part.
Just, cut your toes off and you won't have to worry about it, Scotsman.
Ugh.
Hey, it was a thought.
All right.
Well, Sarge, I think this one's winding down on us, brother.
It's okay. I had a good time.
Yeah, so did I.
I don't care if everybody's watching or not.
Nah, neither do I. They'll catch it later. And then they'll figure out how boring we both are.
That's
If they haven't already figured that one out.
Let's see. Is anybody out there?
We got 3 viewers still. But, yeah, you've got videos to edit, and I'm getting kind of hungry. So I'm going to be searching for dinner here real shortly. So
A lot of work.
Yep. Me being my old hillbilly self, maybe I'll go out and shoot a squirrel. Yeah. Put that 1022 to work. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call this one done for this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. Sarge, you got anything to say before we take off, brother?
Just check out the channel, like, comment, subscribe to all the videos, and I got some more SHOT Show 2019 stuff coming out this week and today and the next couple of days. So I'm trying to get it all out before I go to work Friday night, and I was delayed in getting it out because SHOT Show was a little bit overwhelming, but I appreciate it. And you send me that info from Bill Apter, and I will reach out to him, and we're going to start working forward, trying to get some guests on here.
Let's do that. That sounds like a winning plan to me, brother. Okay, guys, we're out of here. Thank you for all showing up. For anybody that watches this later on, thank you very much. Hopefully in the future, we will have some actual guests on the show. So look for that. Y'all take care. Good night. God bless. We love you. And for Gizzard Gary, give him the bird.
Give him the bird shot.
There you go.